Yes, sir.
Do you have any plans to do production runs of your new T-Vans?
Well, you know, I lost my job recently, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
Are you having fun with it?
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. To be honest, you guys, thanks for supporting the eBay amplifiers. I'm having more fun with those than I ever had. You know?
Thank you for making them this sound outstanding.
Thank you.
In essence, you are a production run. It's just limited production, one
month.
One worker.
Yeah, one worker, one a month. And to put that in perspective, at Carver, I made about 5,000 amps a month.
So you're back to phase linear again.
Yeah, right. I'm back to the very beginning.
Gone full circle.
Sell one, build another.
Yeah.
I'm ready to help.
But us poor
You're on,
folks are
you're on.
waiting
First
for the
amps.
Carver runs of these amps, so maybe we can afford one.
Well, you know, they are expensive. If it seems, I mean, if I got the circuit board, you know, the way to do it to reduce the price would be to get the circuit boards from China, already built, and then have Tubular Joe take those circuit boards and put them in the amp. But I like hard, you know, point-to-point wiring, sort of fun. So, you know, that amplifier, it's hard to make that amplifier less expensive, unless I had the whole thing made in China, and I like to build them too much. I'm not going to do that.
So is the round, lately they've been seem to go around $7,000. Is that what you consider a reasonable price, or is it somewhat inflated because of the bidding process, or and they're so rare?
Sometimes I think it's inflated. Like one of them went for 10 grand. I thought, holy smokes, it's not worth 10 grand.
Just for you.
But it was, or it wouldn't have been bid that high. And yeah, and then it goes the other way. And you know, last year one went for 3,600, 3,700. Didn't have a meter though.
Any plans to making a bigger one?
Pardon?
Any plans of making a larger one?
You know, that really is an interesting
Because
question.
you're getting up close to the 60s, so if you go any bigger.
I know. When I made the new transformer, I got a little more than 240 watts out of it. So I ran a couple of them at 240 watts instead of 180. But it sounded funny to say eBay 240. You know, Cherry 180 sounded much better than eBay 240. So in this auction, I took it back down to the standard 180, and the one before that. So now, because I like the name Cherry 180 better than eBay 240. But I always thinking more power, more power, more power. More bass, more power, more speed, more.
I have a question. There's a fella out there that is basically souping up your old Carver amps, getting considerably more power out of them. Everybody knows who was it Bob P or Rich T or something? The other forum.
Speak up, Frankie.
Anyway,
Rich P.
He rebuilds them for people with heavier duty. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like adding carburetors and cams to your car.
Yeah.
And the question is, does this, in your mind, affect the reliability of the product? What he's doing, is it feasible, and how come you didn't do it?
Well, the reason I didn't do it because I was a manufacturer, and I was always constrained one way or another, in a way that I'm not today. Cost, price, marketing, all of those are constraints that actually impinge on the design. If it were a design that had price no object, I'd probably do exactly what he did. I'd put in bigger capacitors, bigger diodes.
But given the, like, for let's say an M500, it's 250 watts per channel,
Yeah.
he supposedly gets 340 out of that. Is that going to cause it, you know, a lot of times when you do that to a car engine, it goes faster for a shorter period of time, you know?
There is no doubt about it. It will cause more stress on the thing. He has to get the voltage up. And there's adjustment for doing that. You can dial it. It has a magnetic field coil transformer and a little pot inside that you can turn and set the ultimate voltage. And I think I set it at 85 volts at the factory. But if you turn that pot, it'll go up to 100 or 120. And power goes up as the square of the voltage. So let's say you go from 85 to 110. Who's got a calculator here? Anybody?
You know,
Well, 110 divided by 85 is 1.3,
something like that.
1.2.
1.27.
1.2 squared is 1.4, so that's 40% more power. 40% of 250 is, you could probably put it in 350 or more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the power would go up, and but everything would be working harder. The transformer, the diodes, the output transistors, everything. So probably, under the long run, it probably wouldn't last as long. But who cares? I mean, 20 years, who needs it to last more than 20
No,
years?
but I guess what I'm saying is if you had an M500 and you wanted more power, you could modify it.
Yes.
Or you could just sell it and buy it, you know, 1.5 and have 375 that'll run for 20 more years.
Yeah.
So along with that, I know what you're talking about. Some of our amps are becoming, 20, 25 years old, and the capacitors are flat out, the big ones, the big caps, they're failing, and for us to find replacements, some of our UFs have to be, it has to be a physically bigger cap, higher UF and a higher voltage. Some of the debate we've been having, not me, but some of these other guys that actually do this stuff, are debating back and forth whether or not when the amp first turns on and the magnetic field amplifier goes into it's on the triac firing time and the rise time and how fast it comes up, is it going to cause a problem where I'm trying to think of the technical term, where the two overlap and it's basically blow the magnetic field, coil up?
Actually, there's no real danger. The turn-on sequence is well controlled.
Okay.
So it doesn't go boom, it goes zzz, and the capacitors charge up. And modern capacitors are a lot better than the ones that I used back then. They're much smaller, they have more capacitance, they'll last longer. So it's fine to put bigger ones in. If you want to make sure that you don't have an inrush problem, just put in a thermistor. Put in a thermistor in front of the triac, that would work fine. And it would solve any problem at all. And it would give you more power. It's the way to do it. Yeah, modern parts are better than they were 20 years ago, especially the capacitors.
Okay, we have probably a very bad question here for this this format. The guy wants to know about, he has a CD player, a TLM 3600. He has a problem engaging discs. What would be a good place to look for bad wiring and components regarding these systems? And there's a lot of other repair questions like this. You probably don't want to address this sort of thing, but
Oh.
Shit, he didn't have his glasses on. Edit this.
Yeah, this looked like a cartoon. Thanks. Usually, when CD players stop working right, it's just the lasers are wearing out or the lenses are dirty. Usually it's the lenses are dirty and the motors get sticky because they get oily and dust gets in them. A good cleaning will fix way more than half of them. The ones that are left need new lasers. But the answer is send it in to Rita's, or send it. Who else? Roland. Yeah, send it to Roland or to Rita, and we'll fix it up, or he'll fix it up. No sweat. They're pretty easy to fix. They really are. Nothing goes wrong with the complex stuff, like the digital logic and the control circuits for the servos.
more likely belts or something.
It's silly stuff like rubber bands, the belts, idler wheels, and stuff that people can fix with lighter fluid. Clean the belts.